Obviously, you're coming up against Pep Guardiola tomorrow. He's somebody you know well.
Yeah.
How much of an influence has he been on your career and your philosophy of the way the game should be played?
Huge influence, because when he was coach in Barcelona and I had not the chance to know him personally, I was watching almost every game. I was very impressed by the way they made success happen, by the style they were playing with their own academy guys, the offensive way, the ball possession. And I was very impressed. I think the maybe most impressive about this team was the mentality, how they defended when they lost the ball. So I learned a lot in watching the games, in understanding more of the game, how adventurous, how brave you can approach this game. So it was a big lesson. At this time I was coach in the academy and then becoming coach in Mainz. And this were almost every match was a lesson in these days. And then later we had the opportunity to play against him. It was not always a pleasure, but when you arrive on a certain level, it's of course a pleasure to play against him and to meet him and to fight on the highest level.
I know you've never beaten him as a manager, but I think you've only played 5 times. In the past, when you faced him, you've kind of always been the underdog, because he was obviously the manager of Bayern Munich. They were expected to win.
Yeah.
Do you think tomorrow is the first time you will meet him as equals, as managers of 2 clubs of the same size and the same quality of players?
Yes and no. I mean, we have to accept that there is a gap between us and Manchester City. If you look at the fixture in Premier League and if you look at the fixtures in the last years, we have to accept this, and it's important. I think that we accept it without making us too small. So from next year on, from day one of next season, we will hunt them and we will try to close the gap between us. This is the benchmark. For me in Europe, there are 2 teams who are the benchmark, is Bayern Munich and Manchester City. But I know what you're saying. Of course, it was he made it impossible for us to beat him with Mainz. I think we had 2 draws with Dortmund, and then ended in a cup final in a penalty loss. And we had another draw at home with Dortmund. So we came close. It's time that we beat him, and the next try is tomorrow. I don't believe in how big clubs are, how tough, or how big, or are we equal or not. We have to admit that there is a gap, but for 90 minutes we are very self-aware and very self-confident that we truly believe that we can close the gap for one game, and this is the target for tomorrow. And me personally, I arrive with a team that I'm absolutely happy to arrive to compete against the benchmark in England and in Europe. And we want to have the momentum of football on our side. And if we want to have this, we have to play on our top level and to force things and need a bit of luck.
Last one, Carve.
The final one. What kind of game do you think it will be tomorrow? Will it be a very tactical game? Will it be like a game of chess almost?
I don't think so. I don't feel both teams so like chess teams, and like too much into tactical. I think that English football and City's game and our game is about intensity with and without the ball. So I expect a very intensive match and a very physically high demanding match. But we want to. City defines himself with a clear DNA and a clear style. They want to have the ball. They want to have high ball possessions, high ball recoveries. We want it as well. So we have to fight for these moments to make them suffer. We have to fight and be very, we have to be on point in precision and passing and positioning if we want to hurt them. And then we need to be on in every minute that we do not allow easy chances, that we don't allow exploitation of easy exploitation of spaces between our lines, and we need to be very, very brave and play with courage and play adventurous and play how is needed. If you it's a big challenge, and this is the absolutely right moment for us to face a challenge like this. And let's see. I expect that a tough match, but a physical game, and I hope we catch the moments where we can make them suffer, so it becomes a even game, hopefully.
Declan, TalkSport.
Afternoon, Thomas. 2 questions from me today. The first one, you talk about the progression in this side. What would a win tomorrow do for you and your team, and just to determine and judge where you are at this moment?
We are in a good moment. We had a setback in the home game with the red card and the loss against West Brom. We had an excellent response. We had the tough challenges that we had to face, and we had two very good matches and two intensive matches, and a big challenge against Porto with a lot of pressure, with different situations. You arrive in a first leg, whereas everything is open. You arrive in a second leg, we are suddenly the favorites. We have to manage the game, we have to manage the results, we have to manage a lot of influences from outside. And I was very proud how we did this. We did absolutely what needed to be done. We deserved a clean sheet, we deserved a win, and we conceded a late goal for a loss. Okay, but if you need to lose, you want to lose. You want to lose a second leg 1-0 when you win the first one 2-0. So this did not affect us. And like I said, it's a good moment now to play City and Pep. They are, with Bayern Munich, the benchmark in Europe for me personally. If we manage to beat them, will be a huge boost. If not, we will have to accept and take it as a challenge to grow and as an opportunity to grow. And because we have some fights coming up, it's not only about FA Cup here. It's about top 4 race, and it is about Champions League final.
And with that, you need competition, and the likes of Havertz, Pulisic, Werner, and Ziyech, who we're focusing on this weekend, Thomas. Could you just give us a bit of an insight into what the dynamic is like between those players as a group? Are they always kind of giving a bit to each other, wanting to get into the starting lineup? Could you just give us some sort of insight?
Yeah, for sure, because we picked them now for both Porto games, and I think the Crystal Palace game. And the Crystal game and the second leg against Porto, we picked the same offensive guys, and the other guy, and they delivered. And the other guys need to fight for their places, and they're doing this. There is not much training time in between games in a schedule that we have, but the minutes you have, you need to use. And as you can imagine, if you have good results, if you have a good momentum, if you manage to qualify for semi-final, we are from terms of atmosphere and behavior and attitude in the dressing room, we are in a good moment. And it is very, very important that in these moments, the guys who lack a bit minutes and who lack a bit maybe self-confidence and who are not super happy with their personal situation, put their ego aside and do everything to be ready. This club here, Chelsea, is about to be ready. We have no promises to make to no players. We have no gifts to give. You have to fight hard. This is the moment in the season where in a club like this, you fight hard for your place. Once you're in the team, you fight hard to stay in the team. Once you get any minute, you fight hard that the coach maybe decides for a change. And this is the life as a player from Chelsea, and this is big fun. Honestly, this is big fun. You have to embrace the situations like this. Even sometimes it's a bit harder for some of the players, but we try to push them and we try to convince them and influence them in this positive way. That we have a tight schedule and we cannot drop 1%.
Nick Pure.
Hi Thomas, could you just give us an injury update please? So is Matteo definitely out of the game?
Yeah.
If that's the case, could N'Golo play another 90 minutes? And does Billy Gilmore come into your thinking if N'Golo might
both yes. We have the green light for N'Golo. because we had 3 days in between, which makes for him a huge difference. Matteo is unfortunately still out, but feeling already better, but still out, cannot be in the squad. And also Andreas Christensen is out, cannot be in the squad. So this is the situation.
Jim Conlon.
Hi Thomas. Thomas, I'm just wondering about your attacking sort of philosophy. We've seen in the past Chelsea have great strikers like Gianluca Vialli, like Diego Costa, Didier Drogba. Are you favourable in terms of playing the one man up top as a target man, or do you favour maybe two guys up top, or are you open to playing two guys up top?
I do what I always did when I started in academy and later in professional football. I do what I think is best for the team, and I adapt to the quality of my players. If I have guys who need to be on the pitch and are double strikers, we will find a way to play with double strikers. If we have guys like who absolutely need to be on the pitch as a number 9, we play with a single number 9. It depends, and we adapt to the quality of the players. Please don't forget, I love all these guys you mentioned. I love Vialli, I love Drogba, I love Torres. I love them. I love them, and this is a huge part when I think about Chelsea, that I think about these strikers. I absolutely agree. When you look at our lineup in Champions League now, and the offensive players were like, or against Crystal Palace, it was Callum Hudson-Odoi, Christian Pulisic, Kai Havertz, Mason Mount, Reece James. They're 20, 21. Timo is 24. So don't compare like the big guys in their best age with guys who are 20 and 21. Don't do this mistake. And why should I dream of Vialli and Van Basten and I don't know, and Gary Lineker and I don't know who was the names of the best number 9s in the world. I mean, we have what we have, and I'm super happy with what we have. And we have strong strikers, we have strong half strikers, and we do what's best for the team. And I'm absolutely happy with our players, and we will push them, and that's the situation.
Last question in broadcast, James Ollie.
Hi Thomas. You said last week that Christian Pulisic needs to feel calmer mentally.
Yeah.
Could you just explain what you meant by that? Is that in terms of him trusting his body, or something away from the game affecting you?
Yeah, he needs.
He made progress. Do you feel in that area in the last?
Absolutely, he made huge progress. He was fantastic in the last games, fantastic. And like you say, and like I said, maybe I cannot explain it even better. Like, to be calm, to trust himself in terms of injury, to trust himself in terms of that he's his full fitness, his capability, a bit more calm in the in self-confidence, in being aware that I trust him. And these things, this is important for him, I think, to show his full potential. Once he's in that zone, he's a key player, he's a huge player. And he had now big performances for us, because he has a huge impact physically, but also from terms of quality, dribbling, runs, and arriving in the box in crucial moments. He stepped up, and this is what I know from him, and I'm very, very happy about this in the last weeks and in the last games.